I know. I have been late with so much content this year, but we just have to get it done. Today, we're going to talk about the products that I have been using and enjoying during January and February. Hey guys, welcome back to SheriApproved. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new, welcome. And if you're already a part of the SheriApproved family, thank you so much for clicking on today's video. As I was about to start this video, I just realized that, wait a minute, I do like how my nails look, and I have been using this all during the last 6 weeks or so, and I don't know why I didn't put it on my list of notes. So the first thing, I should have kind of made sure that I creamed up my hands and stuff before this. But it's one of the jelly polishes from Romand, and I put down all my Romand polishes for a couple months, and recently I've just been back into them because, first of all, I love the formula. I've spoken about it before, but this particular one, I think the shade is 00 Crunchy Black, but I like it because it just adds a little bit of character to the nails. So yeah, just mentioning that in passing. So to kind of segue into my favorites and things that I've been enjoying, let me give you guys a little bit of a skin update. So if you've watched my series on my best skincare I tried in 2023, you would have been hearing me repeatedly talk about the end of last year where I had the worst seborrhoeic dermatitis flare of my life that kept like coming down. And then when I think, okay, great, I'm at the end of the road, it will suddenly flare back up. And I have just been going through that. I think we're going into 4 months now. It's definitely at its best right now, and I hope that's a signal that we're kind of coming out of that. But because of that entire situation, my skincare has been very, very limited in terms of what I could use. Not really much active ingredients, especially things that I depend on to treat my breakout. And because I had to kind of focus a lot on skin barrier protection, skin barrier repair, just making sure my skin does not feel irritated and all of that, and not have those actives in, my acne prone skin has decided to show itself. So I have been, for the last couple of weeks, dealing with a bunch of deep cystic breakouts on my chin. I'll kind of insert a photo that I probably would not have wanted to share, so you could kind of see what my skin is looking like today. I took this picture today. So you can see that now I'm dealing with a lot of the hyperpigmentation, so the dark spots from those breakouts. I still have some active breakouts on my chin, and I'm also dealing with hypopigmentation, which is loss of pigment from where I had seborrhoeic dermatitis. And then there's some of those areas that's a little bit more healed now. So they were hypopigmented before, and now they're becoming hyperpigmented. Listen, my skin is a hot mess when it comes to uneven skin tone, hyperpigmentation. Now that's the point where I kind of want to talk about the first set of products that I've been enjoying. But just before I mention that, so I did have to go to a dermatologist because I knew that I needed a medication for the particular situation. I also knew the medication that I needed, but it's a prescription medication. So even though I am a licensed skincare consultant, I also know when to tell my clients, you need to go to a doctor because there might be a prescription medication that you need. And I also was able to realize that with myself, that I needed a specific medication. It's so interesting because while I am a skincare consultant and I knew exactly what I needed, I would have needed a doctor to write a prescription. I didn't tell the dermatologist what I thought I needed. I just smiled at the end of the visit because she wrote exactly what I knew I needed. So anyway, I did get that prescription medication and I started it a couple of days ago. I will give you guys an update because this entire journey over the last couple of months has just been anyways. So because of all this drama with my skin, I have had to forego a lot of the complexion products that I will generally use on my skin. So I've been loving skin tints for a while. I mean, my skin has been in great condition. I'm not necessarily looking for things that are very high coverage. If I get like light to medium coverage, build up in a couple places where, you know, you might have a little bit of spot here and there, that has been great for me over the last couple of years. However, your girl has been having to go into finding full coverage things, and then I realized most of my foundations are no longer in this category. So let me start first with what I'm actually wearing on my face today. I actually think it looks pretty good. I'm looking at my skin in the mirror and I'm very happy because yeah, I know what my skin has been looking like. And I know the drama to cover up what has been happening. So I did already review this, but this is just here to say that she's been in my routine constantly, and that's the Hamish Moringa BB creams, the tinted moisturizer makeup with sunscreen. That's these. Now, as I told you guys in the video that I did before, I don't have an exact shade, but I've been mixing tan 28 and 29 dark olive. I love the undertone of the dark olive, and I think that just makes the tan 28 like, yeah, best of me. So that's what I'm actually wearing on my skin today. This is like full-on foundation. This gives us such great coverage. It blends in easily. It's very, very easy to build up. So if you are able to get this, especially for everyday wear, especially perhaps maybe you need to cover some things, if you can find your shade, this is a formula that wears really, really good on my oily skin and has some really great ingredients as well, that it's not going to create sensitivity or irritation and all of that. Now, yes, this does have SPF in it, but I am not depending on this for my SPF, guys. Like all of those of you who want like a tinted sunscreen and so on, you really need to search long and hard to find something that you are going to like in terms of how it looks and feels on your skin, because on a regular, when you're putting on foundation, ain't nobody putting quarter teaspoon, half teaspoon of foundation on their face to get the coverage that they need. It doesn't matter what foundation you're using, you're not using that much product, but that's how much you're going to actually need to use if you're using a tinted sunscreen as your sunscreen. And that's literally going to look like a mask. And that's why you guys barely ever hear me talk about using tinted sunscreens as my sunscreen. No, I use them as my complexion product. It has sunscreen in it. I'll probably get a little bit of additional boost, but I am wearing my proper sunscreen underneath that. And I want you all to be careful, because the way a lot of things are being marketed now, we're seeing sunscreen blush and sunscreen bronzer and all of this, and people are having a false sense of security when it comes to sun protection. But I digress. Let's not go down that road, please. You all know better than that. The next product is this, and yeah, mine looks very, very jacked up because the bottle is just very dainty. But this is the Maybelline Superstay 24-hour foundation. This is the shade 334 Warm Sun, and I'm using this because this is the one I could find. Like, I've had 330 before, 332 as well. I have never been able to find my perfect shade in this range, but it's so affordable that I was just able to purchase more than one and just mix to get, you know, what I needed at the time. And this is a full coverage foundation. If you need to cover up everything, including somebody else under your face, this will do it for you. I haven't had need for this foundation, honestly, for so long. I just don't reach for it. Now, why I pull this out again is because a couple of weeks ago, Arlene Villarule, the makeup artist, if you're not following her, go follow her on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook. She had a client who had vitiligo, and she was showing how she was covering this in order to even out the complexion to do makeup. And she was showing that she was going through the regular technique of doing color correcting and then using another foundation on top, and she didn't like how that was looking, so she pulled out the Maybelline Superstay. And listen, that makeup look came out so beautiful. I was like, hey, because of the situation going on my skin right now, because at the time it was mainly the hypopigmentation, so this whole area, lower part of my face was like a completely lighter color than the rest of my face. So I was like, this is what I need. I pulled it back out, and I used this quite a few times since then, because I haven't been using such full coverage makeup and foundations for so long that it like took me a while to like adjust. Because one thing about this foundation, it's going to cover everything, but it does look like makeup on the skin. And out of the three things that I'm mentioning here today when it comes to complexion products, I use this one the least, but I used it a ton, and I'm so glad I had it still, because listen, this pulled me out on some of the worst days when I really needed to do makeup and I needed to be able to cover up that hypopigmentation. This was a savior. And last but certainly not least, in these difficult times, these difficult complexion times of our lives, we realize, you know, how much we really love certain things or how much we really hate certain things. And listen, as of this date, the Lancome Teint Idole foundation is the greatest of all time. For me, this foundation just never fails. And one of the things that I love about this foundation is that it can give me that light to medium coverage if I want it. But if I want to build up and cover, this will do it. And will do it so flawlessly and look so much like skin without looking as heavy on the skin like the Maybelline that I was just talking about. Listen, I have been wearing my Lancome so much, and I usually reserve this for special occasions, photo shoots, that kind of thing, because I mean, it ain't cheap. But I really had to pull it out, and yeah, she was just the best. And I've been wearing both my regular, well, I should say my regular shade in the old formula and the old packaging, which is 450 Suede N, as well as the one in the new reformulated, upgraded formula, the 410 N. It's been working great for me. And even though I was having to build up extra layers, blended in beautifully, and it looked nice. And I am just here to declare that for me, Sherry Joseph, as of this date in 2024, unless somebody else somehow just magically beats this, the Lancome Teint Idole is my favorite foundation of all time. All time. And she proved her worth, especially in this very difficult skin time in my life. Gosh, Bijoux, I just talk too much. We need to move on. Okay, so the next item, first of all, let me apologize to those of you who are living outside of Trinidad and Tobago, because I have no idea where to tell you to get this. I searched online and I can't find a link for you to purchase it in the US or wherever. So those of you in Trinidad and Tobago, however, listen to me. If you have oily skin, if you are that person maybe around my complexion as well, or even a little bit lighter than I am, and you don't probably wear makeup, or you don't want to have to wear makeup every day, but probably your sunscreens and so on might be giving you a little bit of too much shine. Listen. You need to get this powder. You can get it from Arlene Villarule's studio. This is a European powder that she has sourced and she carries. I think there's only one shade. It's like a banana yellow shade. Now, I did show you guys this on an Instagram story, maybe in December or something, but again, this has been such a lifesaver for me. So the thing about this particular powder is that it is super lightweight. When I tell you this is one of the best sebum control powders in terms of how it wears throughout the day, and I have like been wearing this, comparing it to a lot of other powders that I do love, and it just holds out in terms of how beautiful it looks on the skin. Now, and Arlene calls it like the banana shade. There is like a bit of a yellow tinge, but on my skin tone, it just makes the skin look bright and just, I don't know, healthy is the look that I get. And I love it because it doesn't clump up on the skin like some powders would on top of sunscreen that might be like extra glowy or extra hydrating. It's perfect for that. So literally I will use like a fluffy brush. I will, and I'm trying not to open this up because it is one of those like traditional loose powders. So as you can see, it is going to get messy, but what I have in the cap here is probably all that I would have needed to apply over my sunscreen or something like that. And I will literally just swirl my brush, and I'm not going to do that because I do have some on the brush, and I will just literally go all over my face. Now, I'm not doing it all over my face right now because I do have on makeup, but I used this powder to set all over my face. Like, I think it looks fantastic. Now, that's the thing. Because of it being like more of a banana powder, I think on people that might be a little bit deeper than me, this might be a really good powder to set your under eye concealer, especially. I have tried it like that, and it's great for me for like non-glam days. When I say non-glam days, I mean like when I'm doing like more glam makeup, I want my under eye highlight to be a little bit brighter. So because of the shade, it's not as brightening as I might want it to be for my under eye, but to set my entire face, beautiful. This has been like the best powder that I've used in the last 6 months, maybe last year, over my sunscreens. I have other powders that I've used, but this one just, this one kind of blew me away, or blew the others out of the water. The others were fine, but this is just even better. So check out Arlene. Arlene has this in stock, and it's actually very, very affordable. Don't say I did not tell you and I did not warn you. Next would be these Quint palettes from Pat McGrath's Christmas collection, Bijoux, Brilliance, or something like that was the name of the collection. And I picked up like all the palettes from that collection, I think. So I picked up the Quints. I think there were 4. I have one somewhere else. And then there were also some face palettes. Now, Pat McGrath, I don't know what Pat McGrath is doing, but Pat McGrath is not doing justice to her brand, like you may have heard from several other makeup lovers and people who also love and collect Pat McGrath. I love and I collect Pat McGrath palettes and so on. I will usually only purchase them when they are on sale because they are not cheap. And there's a huge question as to whether or not they are worth the money now, especially because a lot of people have been noting that there have been quality reductions in some of the products and some of the releases that she's been putting out over the last year. And I can definitely say, yes, I have noticed that as well. So for example, like in the face palettes that she put out, this is just one of them. You can see it is well used and well loved. I loved the color selections from them, and I love the fact that I have the eyeshadows. They are mainly neutral shadows with some pops of color. I love that they have the cheek products in there. I love Pat's blush formula. Beautiful. I reach for it very often because I do have some singles, and I love that there were 2 shades in the palettes for both of them. I do have both. However, I was very, very disappointed with this palette because everything in here is not of the same quality that I'm accustomed to when it comes to Pat McGrath. However, the Quince, completely different story. I love this. Like when I use them, I'm like, yes, Pat, this is the formula that we love. There are different types of formulas in these different Quince, but every single shade I have enjoyed. And I have been getting a lot of compliments whenever I wear the shadows, and I love them because these shadows are like no-brainers. They are so super easy to use. So the one that I keep getting a lot of compliments on is, let me find it. It's not the one that I'm actually wearing today. Right, it's Bourdeaux Bliss, which is this one. And literally everything inside it looks like it has some shimmer, right? So literally all I will do is take this deepest shade, put a little bit of it on the outer corner, and then I will literally take a brush and just take one of the other shades and just swipe. When I say a brush, I'm talking about a fluffy brush, and not even like a dense brush that you usually pack shadow on it. Just swipe it over it, and it just gives the eyes the most beautiful sheen. Today I'm actually wearing Bronze Ecstasy. Let me see if I can find Bronze Ecstasy for you. Right, there it is. And the look that I do have on, though, I have on all of these shades. I have this deepest one in the outer corner. Then I took this shade here, I blended it a little bit in the crease. Then I did the same technique. I took a fluffy brush, and that's what I love about these other very metallic sheen shades, is that you have versatility in terms of use. So I took a fluffy brush with this one, and I just dragged it over the eyes, and it will just leave like a beautiful sheen. Then I took my finger and I took this one up, but of course I have worn this as well with using that same technique of the fluffy brush. And I took this and I just pressed it on my lids, so it made it a little bit more metallic, as you can see. And then in my inner corner I have this last shade here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I mean, I'm sure these are going to be on sale. Well, are they? I'm not sure if they sold out. I'm not sure, but Pat is bring things back, right? So if she does, and she'll probably have these at, I don't know, $20 something, maybe $30. I couldn't get them. So this is the other one. I use this one the least, but when I've used this, I've gotten so much compliments. You see those blue shades? Stunning, 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 stunning. Love these. The quality of these are great, and I highly recommend these. These, skip. Yeah, it's not worth it in my opinion. Even though I got it on sale, and the price that I paid for it is probably what it's worth. Yeah, I don't recommend it. So honestly, this next item, I should have told you guys about this. I don't know how long now because I purchased it a long time ago in one of these Sephora hauls. I can't remember which one, but it's the Rare Beauty Contour Stick, and this is in the shade Good Energy. Sorry, this is the bronzer stick. This is their bronzer stick in the shade Good Energy. And this is cream contour cream bronzer for dummies, people who don't want to have to worry about, oh my gosh, I'm taking too long to blend this out, or it's not going to blend, or I need to worry about how much I apply. No. This is so super easy. I have really been getting into more cream contour, cream blush, liquid blush, that kind of thing over the last year. And this has been the absolute easiest thing to use. And I said, I am going to tell you guys about it. Like you can see, I have been using this thing. So basically you just, well, it'll be screwed up, right? Because I have used a lot of product, and you just swap wherever. Take a brush, blend, it blends itself, it blends quickly, no problem. I have it on today. You could do this in an underpainting manner, put your foundation on. Sometimes I go over it with bronzer, sometimes I don't need to, because it does come through the foundation in a really beautiful way, nothing overpowering, nothing sharp or anything. I do have it on today. I wanted to mention this for those of you who might feel intimidated, or you're hearing people talk more and more about contour sticks and so on, and you want to try something. This has been the easiest thing. The quality is excellent. It is creamy enough in terms of how it glides on the skin, but not too creamy that it's going to be so emollient and moving everything around. No. This was one of the best formulas that I have tried from Rare Beauty in general, and I just highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. I have one skincare item in here, But I thought I was going to keep skincare separately. You guys realize it's mostly makeup in here, right? I wanted to mention this simply because, like, look at the dent that I've made in this. So I started using this in January. This is the Benton Deep Green Tea Serum. Now, I used this many years ago, but it's not something that I've had in my routine for a very long time. But why it's in my favorites video is because of my skin situation. And of course, I haven't been able to use like ascorbic acid and all of that, but I do want to have an antioxidant in my morning skincare routine. My skin still needs antioxidants. I still need to be fighting free radical damage and all of that. So I decided, you know what, let me open a new bottle of this Benton serum. And this is beautiful. Again, a lot of these types of products, especially if you have more resilient skin or you're not having sensitivity or irritation, you're not going to see the value of these things. But for those of you who are going through difficult times in your skin life, that's when you see the value of products like this. This never irritated my skin. When a lot of things would sting and burn and so on, no irritation. My skin just drank this. It provided the hydration that I needed, of course, without greasiness, because this has actually been formulated so that people with oily skin can have something that's going to be calming on the skin. You generally tend to find that a lot of products that are marketed towards calming irritation and calming sensitivity can be hydrating so much to the point that it tends to be like extra glowy or maybe sometimes a little bit too heavy for people with oily skin. Absolutely can wear this during the day. Absolutely can wear this under makeup on my skin. My skin drinks it in and it really calms it down. And of course, I'm getting all the antioxidant power of the green tea. It's also anti-inflammatory as well. This also contains panthol, Centella asiatica extract, and it contains willowbark extract, which is like a more natural form of salicylic acid and something that's useful and beneficial to me with seborrheic dermatitis, because salicylic is one of the ingredients that we could actually use to help improve seborrheic dermatitis conditions in the skin. As you can see, yeah, but it's because I have been using this like crazy. Sometimes I'll do like 2 pumps at a time because yeah, it's just been beautiful, and it's here because I have just been using it a lot. And finally, well, I have more things, but we'll close off here. So I did talk about the Swiss Arabian oils in my last Arabian perfume video, and there will probably be another one coming within a month. So you all stay tuned. We have some gorgeous things to talk about. And I had told you guys that while I do like this one, I don't use this one as much as my favorite, which is Eulalie. I keep getting confused with all these names, but I think it was Eulalie, right? Well, Eulalie, I like to layer Eulalie like under other perfumes, but I realized when I'm like, what are the things I've been using a lot during the last 2 months? I realized I was using this a lot, but let me show you how, like why. Because this has been taking my overall body fragrance, like especially when I'm home, sometimes going to the gym as well. And then I just decided to like literally one day test it in a way where I was like conscious to see how long it was really going to last. So what I do is when I open this, I will take the wand and I will swipe the oil on my hand. And then I will take some of my Dermobee oil and pour it. Like you all see where this bottle is, right? I don't need to tell you guys about this if you haven't tried this. I really don't know what you're waiting on. Like this is, yeah. This is my second bottle that I finished. And I just opened my third bottle. It has a little bit in this one. But yeah, I will mix some of this with the perfume oil or maybe like another lotion. I'm just showing you guys these two because these are the other 2 lotions that I've been using like a lot. And I will mix it together and rub my arms, take another swipe, put the oil or one of the lotions, rub down my legs. And I decided to test this, and guys, no joke, I was shocked. Now, as I told you guys, this is not something that's going to give you like huge projection or anything like that. It's something that somebody's going to smell if they come to hug you, if they come very close to you. But of course, you know that as the hours go along, that the way somebody may be able to smell the fragrance on you will obviously reduce, right? And that's definitely the case with these oils. But I did it like that. And when I smelled my skin, I was just like checking. 4 hours, I'm smelling it. 6 hours, I'm smelling it. Guys, I got 9 hours. And literally, I don't know if it was going to go longer, but I was just going to bathe. So I'm like, let me smell again. And it was there. It was on my skin. 9 hours. If my husband came to hug me and smell my neck area, he was going to smell it. He was going to smell it. And I was shocked. It's mild, yes. It is a non-offensive scent. And listen, since I realized that day, like how this was working on my body, especially the way that I mentioned it to you guys, mixing it with the oil and then rubbing it down all over the body. Like, listen, I have been obsessed with doing that. I do it sometimes to go to the gym. And if I really want to be crazy, I'll spray another perfume on top of that. But I realized that I don't need to. I really don't need to. And therefore, these oils, especially Amali, has been stepping up. And I use Amali especially in this way because of the type of scent it is. Like, I find the scent, the smell of this, like how I described it to you guys, was just perfect for that kind of overall body fragrance, especially when I'm home. Anyway, y'all get the drift. Let me go now. That's it for today. Anything else we'll pick up in the next video. We'll talk about it some other time. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you stayed through my rants and my long talks, thank you so much for staying with me. I'd love to hear any comments down below. What have you been enjoying? What product randomly, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just leave any comment down below. What have you been enjoying over the last 2 months? And again, remember, I do these videos to help you find the right products. Because if you don't have the right products, what are you doing? You had the wrong products. I'll see you guys again soon. Take care. Bye.